All right, let's start at the beginning with the Seven of Cups. And this Seven of Cups can be a very dreamy card. This can be one of, doing a new bucket list, kind of being a little bit in a fantasy world. Maybe not looking at things as they truly are, kind of rose-colored glasses. Or it can be disappointing that things didn't turn out the way that you expected them to turn out. You have another one of those here. But it does, for the most part, encourage you to look at things as they truly are so you can resolve them from a place of truth. It can mean also that your highest creative dreams, you've already met and mastered those highest creative dreams. So it might be time to do a new bucket list. Or maybe you had expectations of something turning out a certain way and really did not give up the ghost until it was shown to you that no, it isn't this way, it's this way. So it is usually clarifying something, the reality of something. What crosses you is the moon, and the moon is taking our great ideas. These are our inner workings. So it does look like you have spent some time intrinsically looking at life, looking at the big picture, what you want it to look like when you grow up, or what the next phase in your life looks like. It does look like you have done a lot of inner searching, inner soul searching, what you want your life to look like from now on moving forward and who you want that to look like with. So it does look like you have been spending a lot of contemplation time. Three of Swords here. That is a heart betrayal. It can stand for affairs. It can stand either your affair or your partner's affair. It does mean a betrayal of the heart. This can be the sadness you feel when someone dear has left the planet, when someone has died. However that looks for you, Leo, this is above you. So you may have had a shift in some sort of relationship, whether it was a love space, whether it was a family member. But it does feel like in somewhere along the line, your heart is sad because of a betrayal, or maybe a disappointment that something didn't turn out the way that you expected it to. Or somebody out and out lied, cheated, stealed, and had an affair on you. It can be from the simplest thing, from a lie that really hurt you, to the biggest thing, in my opinion, is being out of integrity in a marriage or a relationship. So that is there, and it is above you, so it does feel like it is happening now. The Ten of Wands is here. Ten of Wands usually is when you loaded your plate a little too intensely. This may be you're taking on responsibilities for others. It is along this line here. It may involve this Queen of Pentacles. It doesn't have to be a female. It can be a male, but usually it is an earth sign. That's Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. So it does feel like your load is a little heavier than normal because of either the lack of responsibility of an earth sign or the change of something involving an earth sign. So this may be your partner, this may be your roommate, this may be your sibling, your parents, but it does feel like you've taken on a bit of extra responsibility. It may be financial as well, because the earth stand for material things. So you may be a little bit burning the candle at both ends type thing, or taking on extra responsibilities, or even paying back a debt of some kind that is a bit of a burden. But it does look like it's in the past position. It does look like the burden was pretty great for a couple of months, but now that you have moved into the Ten of Pentacles place, it does look like money is starting to flow, ideas are starting to flow, physical things are getting kind of put in order a little bit more. It does feel like you have a little bit more choices for you, but it does look like you were the cleanup person for someone else, or at least holding someone else up while they needed that extra help. It doesn't mean codependency in any way. It just means that the burden was pretty great on you as you were helping others get on their feet a little bit. It does feel like it involved finances and emotion. Ten of Pentacles is in the current position. This is things starting to swirl again. So you may have been out of a job for a while and reconnected with employment, or gotten a new job, gotten a raise. But it does feel like your money is getting a little clearer. It's getting a little easier to manage. Maybe this earth sign paid you back. But it does feel like now you are in a little bit more balance financially, as well as on the material things. It does feel like you may be moving physically, or you may be moving things, cleaning the garage type of thing. But I'm seeing some physical things being moved. Who knows? You may work in a warehouse. But I am seeing some physical things being released as well, making room for new things. But it does feel like your money is less funny, which seems to be a theme. People are getting a little handle on finances, finishing up cycles of loans, payments, mortgages, things like that. So it does look like the light at the end of the tunnel isn't a train anymore, that you can balance things a little bit better. It doesn't mean that finances aren't a challenge for you, but it does feel like there is a little bit more balance in your finances for you. The Queen of Pentacles is here. As I said, that is an earth sign. She's a very kind of motherly, earthly, generous. She's very practical and a good advisor. It does feel like this is a person. I would say that was an earth sign. It can be male or female. I don't attach gender to these cards. So Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, it does feel like they added to your burden a little bit, but now they're stepping into their greatness. They're stepping into the future, and they're getting a little bit more balance on their material things, on their job, on their home. They're getting a handle on it. So it does look like you were able to aid them and help them move into a more forward motion. And it does feel like they are very, very grateful for you and for your help. And sometimes earth folks can get, earth and fire can get in a little ego space, but it doesn't look like that is the case here. All egos have been washed away, and it does look like it's much more reciprocal now, and this person is standing on their feet and very, very grateful, and it does feel like you will be honored for your contribution. And it was really neutral. You had no expectations of anything in return. You just wanted to help somebody that's helped you in the past. So it does feel like they will return that favor. Justice is here. That may be having to do with this balance. But when justice shows up, it's all about righting a wrong. It's about apologies. It's about, giving things back that were taken. It very much can be a legal situation, anything from a parking ticket that was forgotten to divorce papers. So a wrong is being righted, and these scales are balanced. So things are coming into balance for you, Leo. And that might have to do with this earth sign too. But it could be for many of you that are signing contracts, looking at something legal and finishing up a cycle on the legal means. Or you may work for a legal place or get offered a job. But justice is here to right a wrong. The Seven of Swords is here. That's usually about fears. That's usually about fear of theft, fear of lying, treason, manipulation. So it is on this line. So it does look like as you were helping people that it kind of brought up a lot of your fears, a lot of your survivals. How are you going to survive through this? Also protected yourself a little bit more through this process. It does look like it is moving out. This Queen of Swords is right here. But it does look like you might have been a little cautious with your physical safety, double checking the doors, making sure your car is locked while you're driving, things like that. It does feel like there was a little brush with, I want to make myself safe on a physical level. But for the most part, this is fears that don't necessarily have to manifest. It doesn't look like they have. But it does look like for a time you are kind of extra cautious with your physical safety. So there may have been a warning. You know, if you're in California, our warning for physical safety is they're turning on and off our lights and our electricity. So it could be something as easy as that, something for your protection. But there was a bit of fear around your safety, it looks like. Queen of Swords, she is, can be an air sign. If this represents a person, that's a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. This does feel like a person. Usually this swords are somebody who's pretty funny, very creative, very intuitive, intellectual. You have great conversations with them. It does feel like, you know, the swords stand for communication and higher education. So, and it does feel like you may be presented with a platform to speak in the public or give some kind of TED talk, if you will, or something that you have knowledge on that you want to share with others, or that maybe your job wants you to share with others. But it does look like you may be asked to do a bit of public speaking or share your knowledge with others, is what I'm feeling. The Knight of Wands is here, and Knights always want some action. They always want movement to those ideas. Knights are what takes those ideas and propels them into the physical world. This is Wands, so that's a double whammy. That's a fire. That's a let's get moving, honey. It also can be you, since it is a wand. It can be a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. I am feeling that it's time for you to start moving and doing things for you, some of your own projects. This does feel like more on the personal level. It does look like you have devoted a lot of energy to the your professional level, that you have kind of a cog of a wheel. It's what I'm feeling, a cog of a wheel at work, that you have a lot of information. And so it does look like it's time to spend a little downtime, maybe take a bath, you paint your toenails, go out and play pool with the guys, whatever however to find your smile. But it does look like some things that you've wanted to do for a while. You know, maybe you've wanted to take advanced belly dancing, sweet Leo. Now is the time. It does feel like adding to your gifts or adding to your joys is what I think. It is not work related. It does look like you've had these great ideas that have had to be put on the back burner. And I'm seeing actually art. I'm seeing art, painting, sculpting. So this feels like doing something for you, one of your passions, one of your gifts that Spirit gave to you in this lifetime. So if you're an artist and you haven't been painting, it's time to pick up the brush. Same thing if you're a writer, time to pick up the pens. Whatever gives you great joy in your personal life, it's time to incorporate that. It's not just all work, no play type of thing. The Two of Wands is on the other side. The twos always show up for balance, protection, things like that. It does look like you're sorting things out, making a decision. It does feel like you have to wait a minute on making a decision. This feels like it has to do with travel. I'm feeling travel abroad, travel that's over water or near water. Doesn't necessarily have to be a long distance, but it is away from your home. It doesn't feel like it's in the same state that you are in. It does look like now that your money is getting a little bit more manageable, that the waiting may be something you're saving for. It may be a trip you've always wanted to do. Have you always wanted to cruise the Bahamas, or, you know, climb Machu Picchu? It does look like something you've always wanted to do. Now you have a little bit more of the means and the vision to make that happen. But it does feel like it's a little bit of a waiting game, that it's not something that's going to happen right now. But you can always start the process, start filling out the paperwork for your visa or your passport or whatever it is. But it does feel like finally some things that you've always wanted to do, that you can see it coming into focus a little bit more. The Five of Cups is here, and that can be a little bit disappointing. It can be expectations about things that didn't turn out. The cups are lighting up for me, so this does feel like you may have had some expectations around your love life or your partnership that didn't come to fruition the way that you thought it would, but it also feels like there's new ideas and new workarounds to work things out if you choose to do. So it does feel like if you are in a relationship, it has taken, I wouldn't say a step back or a step forward. It's kind of taken a unilateral step that things need to be done a little differently than they have before. It does not feel like a complete separation, although with this Three of Swords, that can be a divorce or separation if that is in the cards for you, shall we say, Leo. But for the most part, it does feel like a workaround, doing things a little differently, perspective shiftings. It doesn't just have to be this way. It feels like your ideas are a little more fluid in all aspects of your life, Leo. So that's your general messages and your general reading for the month of October. Let me throw a couple of these. Ooh, have you found your joy? Did you find your smile? Or maybe you're still looking for it, but it does look like it's on the agenda. And confusion. So it does look like things are a little confusing to you, not really knowing what your next step should be. Just sit and wait a little bit and keep that mind positive, sit in the joy stuff, and some of the confusion will clear up. The truth always bubbles up to the light. So you may have to engage in a little patience before you get all your answers, Leo.